Welcome back to the workshop. This week's task is to build the horizontal stabilizer, and that's detailed on T02, the drawing T02. But before you can put it together, you've got to get all the parts, and there are a few little bits and pieces that need finishing off. So basically there are 4 other drawings which give you the details of all the parts that you require. The one that's not on the desk at the moment is the one for the elevators, because I haven't got enough room to put it out, but I've got the bits out anyway. So for the main construction of the horizontal elevator, without the horizontal stabilizer without the elevator, there are about 24 parts thereabouts. Most are pre-drilled with holes and complete, but there are a couple of larger aluminium parts that are going to need some holes drilling out and a little bit of work done to them just to clean them up and make them look presentable. And then what I'm going to do first is I'm going to have a go at assembling the main spar fitting, which is the big long piece across the back of the horizontal stabilizer, and also the forward spar assembly, which is an odd shape and runs across the top there, and forms part of the leading edge of the horizontal stabilizer. So busy away at doing that, and let you know how I get on. It's taken about an hour to drill out the holes and get all the bits round the right way, which is very important because several of them are handed left and right, and you need to get them round the right way. But we have a silver clear-coat main spar and forward spar, so I'm pretty happy with them. They look okay. Everything's gone together. There were a few holes which were slightly out, and had to drill them out a bit. Some that were the wrong size, too small, needed drilling out. So we've done all that, and so now I'll go ahead and drill them out to the right size for riveting, deburr everything, which takes ages, and we'll see how we go from there. Here we are, 3 hours later, and both the main spar and the forward spar assembly are both riveted, and I've got them sort of, I've put the end ribs on just to give you an idea what it all looks like when it's roughly in the right place. Took an hour and a half each to do each spar. That was to drill it out to 1/8 for the rivets, and then to take it all apart, deburr it, which took the longest time, and reassemble it with copper clear-coats, and then rivet it. And so that's all I'm going to do this evening. I'm tired now. So the next thing to do is to put in the rest of the ribs in the horizontal stabilizer, and we'll have a look at that tomorrow. So once we've got the main spar and the forward spar assembly complete, what I've done now is got the ribs out, and this is the first fit together with all the ribs, and all of a sudden it looks like a piece of aircraft, which is rather good. I've just been checking to make sure that it's straight and level and not twisted. So I've got a digital inclinometer on it and been running it backwards and forwards along all the ribs, and it's absolutely perfectly straight, which is good. So I'm going to go ahead and drill out to rivet size and deburr it all and stick some rivets into it, and we'll see what it looks like after it's done. Okay then, about an hour's work later, we have one fully riveted horizontal stabilizer frame. Had a bit of a couple of little issues with it. I had to use the hand riveter for these rivets in here, either side, and also those ones, because the air riveter wouldn't fit in there, and I couldn't get the even the hand one in to do the bottom one on the left there, so I had to put that one in from the other side. It's the only way I could get in there, so hopefully that's going to be okay. Don't see why not, unless there's something that gets in the way of, but we can always drill it out and sort it out, I'm sure. But there we go. Now next job is to put the hinge, or hinges, on the back edge, and then it's time to look at the skins. So hopefully when I speak to you next we'll have the hinges on. So after another 2 hours of work, I've drilled all the holes out to 1/8 and we're fully copper clecoed up now. That was took a lot longer than I anticipated. That was a lot of holes in this, and it just sort of gives me an inkling into how much effort is going to be involved in putting the wings together. These are a fraction of the size of the wings, and also I've used an awful lot of clecos. I have got quite a few, but I'm beginning to wonder whether I've got enough. We'll see. Anyway, it's all copper clecoed up, drilled out and ready to deburr. That's going to take another couple of hours probably, and then we'll be at the riveting stage. More later. And there we have it. After just over 5 hours of work, it's all been deburred, well, drilled out, deburred, and re-clecoed back together, and then riveted with somewhere just shy of 400 rivets. About 380 I think in total, and it's nice and flat, and I haven't screwed it up, which is good. And the next job is to construct the elevators to go onto the back side of this, and I shall start that tomorrow. But in total, the horizontal stabilizer so far has taken about 15 hours to construct. No real big issues. Everything's gone much to plan. So now we have 3 pieces. We've got the rudder, which is sitting up on that shelf up there, the horizontal or the vertical stabilizer, which is also up on the top shelf, all finished. And now the horizontal stabilizer. Goodness, almost the whole of the back end of an aircraft. Amazing. So I've just got some bits and pieces out to look at doing the elevator. So we've got some elevator bits on the bench ready to have a look at. Not that much difference to making the rudder, in fact probably a bit easier. So I'll tootle away with that, and I'll speak to you again in another week or so, and we'll see how far we've got. Cheers!